Heyo, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be getting to episode 7 of Demon Slayer. I've heard that this one is actually a bit longer. I think it's supposed to be 40 minutes and then one of my other followers said that I think the next one after this is going to be an hour long. So we are getting spoiled with some Demon Slayer for these last couple episodes of the season. Thank God for that. The more Demon Slayer, the better, right? Right now, I am in Florida for some vacation. So you guys got vacation, Josh, today. Still gonna record Demon Slayer, gotta get it out for y'all. So I'm excited to try a different spot. I don't know if this is a great setup, but probably the best I can do with some natural sunlight. You know, got a nice little art painting here, good stuff, right? All right, let's recap the character points from last time. I believe we gave MVP to Genya for helping Tanjiro learn the new technique to be able to push the boulder forward. We gave the best moment to Mr. Tanjiro himself when he was actually able to push the boulder forward, and just the visualization, the animation of his heart being set ablaze and him giving him all that energy, lighting up his mark, all of that was so good. And then we gave funniest moment to none other than Zensu again, of course. Kind of slashed the Stone Hashira a little bit as well because it was the scene where where Tanjiro was saying that Zensu was, had passed out or whatever, and the Stone Hashira was just like, throw him in the water. I thought that was pretty good. We're like, put him in the river. If y'all are new here or you're not subscribed and you want to follow on for more, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Helps out the channel a lot. But either way, I appreciate y'all being here to watch some Demon Slayer with me. With that being said, let's go and get into this episode. Got a letter here. Got Pete Tanjiro here, yoked as hell. Of course, Inosuke's upset. Yeah, your low body's the strongest part of your body, right? Yeah. So they always said in sports, like you really need to recruit your lower body muscles. You'll neglect them a lot. Come on, Inosuke. His tempura, his happy thought, his emotional thought. Chuntaro, I miss Chuntaro. God, dude. It's gonna be so exhausting. For real. It's still really impressive, man, how far he pushed it. Oh, so he was able to do it. What was it, like 300 something feet? That's far, dude. R.I.P. Tanjiro.
Himejima-san,
Mans is always crying. At the village? Is he talking about Swordsmith Village, maybe? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Nezuko did that for him, really, right?
いえ、違います。決断したのは禰豆子であって、
俺ではありません。
Yeah.
俺は決断ができず、危うく里の人が死ぬところでした。認められては困ります。
Strong to be really honest there. It's tough.
子供というのは純粋無垢で弱く、すぐ嘘をつき、残酷なことを平気でする我欲の塊だ。しかし、やはりこの子供は違う。
How old is Tanjiro supposed to be at this
間違いのな
point?
い道を進みたいと思っていますが、いつだって誰かが助けてくれて、俺は結果間違わずに済んでいるだけです。あの時も本当に危なかった。
Dude, that scene was insane. The voice actor from Tanjiro's VA there was so fucking good.
俺のことを簡単に認めないでください。水、ありがとうございます。訓練も今日までありがとうございました。勉強になりました。
疑いは晴れた。誰が何と言おうと、私は君を認める。か
Yeah.
まど炭治郎。
でですか。
私は昔、寺で身寄りのない子供たちを育てていた。
Oh. Gotta get some backstory. Nice.
先生、今日はごちそうですね。
ああ、干物の行商人と出会ってね。売れ残りをただ同然で譲ってくれたんだ。それから炊事当番の良太郎と浅見にも感謝だ。
感謝しろよ。
こら、良太郎。
You better appreciate it.
どうしたんだ。
さよ
He's so much smaller there.
先生にあげる。先生、ガリガリだもん。もっと食べて。
なんて優しい子だ。心配は嬉しいが、私は厳しい修行の身ゆえ空腹でも平気だ。これはさよがしっかり食べなさい。
It's nice.
じゃあ、俺がもらう。ダメ、先生にしか。
Yeah, let her eat, bro.
いただきます。みんな
Itakimasu.
血のつながりこそなかったが、仲睦まじくお互いに助け合い、家族のように暮らしていた。ところが、ある夜。
Here comes the tragic backstory, man. Of course.
言いつけを守らず、日が暮れても寺に戻らなかった子供が鬼と遭遇。自分が助かるために寺にいた私と8人の子供たちを鬼に食わせると言ったのだ。
What the fuck, dude? That is messed up.
私の住んでいた地域では鬼の脅威の伝承が根強く残っており、夜は必ず藤の花の香炉を焚いていた。その子供は香炉の火を決して始末し、寺の中へ鬼を招き入れた。
Dude, what a fucking piece of shit. That kid sucks.
誰ですか。
すぐに4人殺された。残った4人を何とか守ろうとしたが、3人の子供たちは私の言うことを聞かなかった。私を当てにせず逃げ、喉をかき切られて死んだ。私の言うことを聞いてくれたのは一番年下のサヨだけだった。
The one who you try to give him the fish, right?
私は何としてもサヨだけは守らねばと思い戦った。
Let's go. Fighting barehanded against a fucking demon. So is that how he got that scar? Does he fucking beat the demon to death, dude? No way, bro. Dude, this must have scarred this little girl so bad.
あの気色悪さを私は一生忘れない。生まれて初めて 全身の力を込め振るった拳は鬼に襲われなければ死ぬまで私は自分が強いということを知らなかった。
Yeah, it probably would have been nice not to
鬼の
know.
仲間を殴り潰し続けた。私はあの夜山ほどのものを失い傷つき
Yeah, he lost his innocence, kids, everything.
駆けつけてきた者たちにあの子はこう言った。あの人は化け物。みんなあの人みんな殺した。
What, dude?
恐ろしい目に遭い混乱したのだろう。まだ4つの子供だ。無理もない
Damn,
こ
bro.
と。子供はそういう生き物だ。それでもサヨにだけは握らってほしかった。私のために戦ってくれてありがとうと言ってほしかった。
Instead, he goes to freaking prison.
その一言があれば私は
Here
救
come
わ
the
れた。
tears.
しかし子供はいつも自分のことで手一杯だ。私は殺人の罪で投獄された。
Yeah, how does he get out of this?
親
Okay,
方様
yeah.
が助けてくださらねば私は処刑されていた。君のことももちろん疑っていた。普段どれほど善良な人間であっても土壇場で本性が。
Yeah.
しかし君は逃げず目をそらさず嘘をつかず素直でひたむきだった。簡単なことのようだがどんな状況でもそう荒れる者は少ない。
Yeah, when the stakes are raised, it's a lot easier to lie or do anything to protect yourself.
君が道を間違えぬようこれからは私も手助けしよ
頑張ります。
Aww. I wonder what happened to her.
姫島さんもなんだかんだでいい人だからな。才能ないから俺のことつぶこにしないって言ってたけど俺がお憎いしてるの察して弟子にしてくれたし、体の状態を見てもらえって胡蝶さん紹介してくれて胡蝶さんにはめちゃくちゃ嫌な顔された。会うたびする。
Oh no.
伊之助、それは善逸の分だからダメだよ。
あの野郎、きっと腹でも下してんだろうぜ。
いや、どっちかっていうとお腹空かせてるんじゃないかな。
他人のことばかり気にするやつだぜ。
お前も割と頭固そうだからいろいろ言われると思ってた。でも結局ごちゃごちゃ言わなかったな。
いや、呼吸使えなかったら
Yeah.
俺も同じようになってたかもしれないし、忍さんもきっと玄也の体を心配してのことだから。
そうかね。
そうだよ。
Yeah, does eating demons have any effect on you?
岩を一丁も動かせてないし。
俺はあともう少し。
Fucking eyes.
お前呼吸使えねえのか。さあこうが。さっきだとてめくら。どけ。
あ、善逸、ここにいたのか。岩動いたか。
いや、まだだ。
そうか、大丈夫か。善逸、ここしばらく
Tanjiro's
喋らない
mark is
し
definitely
心配だ。
way more apparent now.
そうか。よかった。
Oh no, what's going on with Sensu, bro?
俺はやるべきことやらなくちゃいけないことがはっきりしただけだ。
何かあったのか。俺にできることがあれば何でも。
炭治郎は炭治郎のやるべきことをやれ。
でも心配だよ。
I'm worried too now, man.
お前は本当にいいやつだよな。ありがとう。だけど
Oh, he got the letter.
これは絶対に俺がやらなきゃダメなん
What
だ。
just happened? Damn, dude. I don't know if I've seen Sensu that serious.
善 大丈夫かな。それに禰豆子、ずっと預けたままでいいんだろうか。
Don't worry, she's in good
あれ
hands.
ここがこれ。
Oh shit. More Hashira and Hashira action here, man. Let's go.
でも動きを終えるぞ。
Man, Tanjiro's getting strong, man.
てめえは俺たちとは違うんじゃねえのかよ。水の呼吸、死の型。
Damn, I missed the water breathing. It looks so cool.
七の型、雫波紋月。よし。
He's so savage, bro.
ちょっと待ってくださいよ。殺し合ったらいけませんよ。
うるせえんだよてめえは。そもそも接触禁止だろうが。
おはぎの取り合いですか。もしそうなら俺が腹いっぱいになるまで作りますから。品津川さん、おはぎ大好きですよね。品津川さんって稽古つけてもらっていた時、ずっとほのかにもち米とあんこの匂いしてたし。
Tanjiro's sense of smell. Gonna help him connect.
戻ってくるたび抹茶とおはぎのいい香りがしてたので、てっきり。
品津川、おはぎが好きなのか。
美味しいですよね、おはぎ。
Oh no, he's getting mad. He's been exposed.
あれら、あれ、義勇さん。
品津川は怒ってどこか
He's always fucking angry, bro.
そうですか。
喧嘩ではなく柱稽古の一環で、柱は柱同士で手合わせしているんだ。
そうだったんですか。
でも品津川の好物が分かってよかった。今度から懐におはぎを忍ばせておいて、品津川に会う時あげようと思う。
Anytime.
そうしたらきっと仲良くなれると思う。
俺もそうします。
Yeah, for real. I don't think that would work for the win this year, dude.
あいつらどこで油売ってやがんだ。かまど炭治郎、野郎が水ささなきゃ。クソが調子の狂ったガキだぜ。本当に。
Ooh, is it one of the eyes? Bro.
なんだこれは。
Fuck, dude, that's crazy.
侵入された。
It's like UBUYASHIKI. Is that MUZAN coming? Oh, fuck, dude. Oh, shit. Ooh, that sound. That's cool, man. Of course, the shadows coming through. Yeah. It's a cool shot. That kind of shot never gets old. Ah. Oh, dude, those 40 minutes flew fucking by. Man, next episode is probably gonna be crazy. If it picks up on that, man, that's not good though. Is UBUYASHIKI still in the same areas? The Hashira? Like, are the Hashira close by or? Okay, we're getting more. We're getting more. Dude, that's such a cool shot. Michael Jackson's back, baby. Damn, the song too, those vocals. Getting goosebumps. Goosebump check, goosebumps. Holy crap, dude. Ooh, he sends him. You know, it's funny, something I just realized is kind of like MUZAN and UBUYASHIKI's parallels with like their sickness, their illness. Like they've both had a chronic illness. Is this arc gonna end off just on like the biggest cliffhanger ever? Like, what's gonna happen next episode? That's cool too. I wish I looked like that every time I walked. I look badass as hell.
Yeah, 来たのかい。はじめましてだね。鬼物児無惨。
なんと醜悪な姿だ。産屋敷。
Man.
今回は品津川さんを紹介します。
なんだなんだ。俺に何か用か？かまど。
ここで大正こそこそ噂話。品津川さんの趣味はカブト。
Rhinoceros beetles?
好きな食べ物はおはぎなんだって。
おはぎ？またおはぎの話だと。
次回最終話、柱結集。
Good episode. Crazy. All right, everyone. Episode 7 of Demon Slayer. Right off the bat, that has to be one of the best of the season for sure. Really got a lot, and the plot is starting to thicken a little bit here with a couple of different plot points that are being introduced in this episode. You know, those two big plot points. Obviously one of them is MUZAN coming and actually infiltrating the Demon Slayer Corps and coming up to UBUYASHIKI, and we'll get to that a little bit, but also something with Zensu happened with that letter. Definitely very, very interesting. So we'll talk a little bit about both those. But before that, let's kind of focus on this sequentially a little bit. Let's talk about Tanjiro and the Stone Hashira. So Tanjiro ends up moving the Boulder One-Cho, which is just insane. I could not imagine how much my body would be hurting if I had to push something that heavy that far. Not like that would ever actually happen for me, but it's just insane, man. But I love the interaction with Tanjiro and the Stone Hashira. I'm just gonna call it the Stone Hashira because I know I'm gonna butcher his name too many times, but what's his first name or his last name? Gyomei. Yeah, maybe I'll just call him Gyomei. Gyomei and Tanjiro's interaction was really, really good. So, one, I love how Gyomei was just waterboarding Tanjiro, like Tanjiro's dehydrated and you can see him gurgling, he's just pouring the water over his head. I thought that was really, really funny. But even more so, I like the conversation they had, right? The conversation about Gyomei accepting Tanjiro, or acknowledging him, I guess I should say. And, him explaining his reasoning based off of what he did in the Swordsmith Village arc with the decision to go save the villagers instead of protecting Nezuko. And obviously the viewers know that's not exactly accurate. We saw what, the struggle that Tanjiro went through. He was hesitating in that moment. He was completely torn. I mean, I think anyone in that situation would. And I said in reaction, but that was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole Swordsmith Village arc was that scene, because you could hear it in Tanjiro's voice acting. The VA form did an excellent job in that moment, just how much he was torn between wanting to protect Nezuko and having his duty to save the villagers also. That part was insane, but in that moment Tanjiro could easily be like, yeah, I know what you're saying, I did a good job in the Swordsmith Village arc, but he tells the truth instead, right? He tells him, no, I hesitated. It was actually Nezuko who made that decision. And I just thought, one, I think that's an admirable thing for Tanjiro to do, and I think for people to do in general when, it's easy to tell the truth when it serves you, but when it doesn't serve you is when it gets really hard, when you, kind of put yourself up to criticism, or you kind of have to face some sort of shame. That's usually when lying kind of comes into the picture, is when you're trying to hide yourself and like hide yourself from that shame that you feel. And I think Tanjiro's always been such a good character to kind of represent what you should be doing in those difficult moments. Tanjiro is a really good role model for, I think, kids in general, but also just any humans. If I ended up 50% as good as Tanjiro, I'd be an awesome person. So I just love seeing Tanjiro's reaction in that moment, and even more so kind of, what that expands into, right? The Stone Hashira still says that he still acknowledges him for kind of the values he shows here, right? The honesty he shows, because we get this whole, backstory of the Stone Hashira and what happened with him when he was caretaking for those orphans. I think there was 9 orphans he was caretaking for. Very, very wholesome. Seems like they all got together really well, but then one of them basically was selfish and looked out for himself and saved himself and traded all their lives to this demon, right? He broke the rules, didn't hold himself accountable to breaking the rules, and faced death potentially. Sold out his fellow orphans and the Stone Hashira who was taking care of him, and even went as far as destroying the wisteria pot, right? The wisteria essence that would have kept the demon away. So that guy is a good example of what the Stone Hashira thinks of kids, right? He talks about how kids are very, he talks about their innocence, but almost in a way to talk about their immaturity more than their purity, right? He talks about how they can't really think outside of themselves. They're very egocentric, right? For example, when you're a baby, you have a very egocentric mindset, right? Everything in the world around you gets reflected back to yourself, and as a baby, you observe it from the perspective that it's always about you, right? That's why if your mother or your father gets angry when you're a baby and the voices are raised, even if it's not about you and they're just arguing with each other, that can affect the baby, because subconsciously the baby kind of turns that to be about themselves. It's, hey, I'm the source of this conflict that's happening, or I'm hungry and my parents don't feed me, so it's about me. There's something wrong with me, right? And you see that with people as they grow up. If they had any kind of abuse and in their early childhood, a lot of times it impacts them a lot later on, and their sense of self-worth or anything like that is kind of distorted because they were egocentric at a time. And you contrast that to adults, where you kind of learn to think of others a lot more. You learn manners and values and all these things, and you try to think about others and not just yourself. Now, I personally think that everybody out in this world is pretty egocentric at the end of the day. Everyone's thinking about themselves. Even when you go to help somebody, a lot of times, you're doing it to feel a certain way too, right? It makes you feel good to help people. And I don't think that's a bad thing or anything, but I think there's always part of your motivation to do something is usually for some part of yourself, even if you're not aware of it. But I just thought that whole aspect of the way the Stone Hashira accepts or acknowledges Tanjiro is because he is not straight from the path like these other children. He's a special child because he has never turned away from the responsibility or his duty, and he's honest when he's made mistakes. I think the honesty is a big part, right? He's not selfish. He tells the truth. But man, what a tragic backstory, because all the children die except for the 4-year-old who didn't run from behind him. And man, the Stone Hashira, he was so much skinnier back then and feeble, he said, but he literally beat this demon with his bare hands until sunset came up so he could defeat the demon. The part where he tore off the arms, insane. It's cool that his scar on his head's from that interaction too. Just insane, but so sad too, because at the end, Sayo, who I think she's 4 years old, she must have been completely traumatized by it, and she thought that the Stone Hashira had killed everybody, and so she basically told the police that he had done it, and he was arrested. And luckily for him, he was protected by UBUYASHIKI, who came in and got him out of prison, and probably inspired him to be a Hashira in this, right? But by the end of it, after telling this story, I love the empathy that Tanjiro shows. He cries with the Stone Hashira, and I love the part where the Stone Hashira says that he acknowledges him and he'll do his best to help keep him on his path too, right? That was one of the things Tanjiro had said when the Stone Hashira originally acknowledged him. He's like, no, you shouldn't acknowledge me so easily. I actually hesitated at that moment. Nezuko made it, but really, every time that I've struggled, I've had people that helped keep me on the path, right? And when after the backstory comes into play and the Stone Hashira recognizes Tanjiro still, he's like, I still acknowledge you, and I'll do my best to help keep you on the path too. I love that moment. You know, I think a lot of really good protagonists in stories, they're not perfect characters. Like Tanjiro's not a perfect character either. I mean, I think he does what is right in the moments where he does struggle, so maybe he's a little bit better than others. But even other protagonists, like what makes them really good a lot of times is that they're able to pull in people around them to support them, right? They're not doing it all on their own. They draw people to them. They know that they need friends to help them achieve what they need and to hold them accountable in those things. And everybody needs that in real life too. All right, let's talk about Zensu for a little bit, because I think that scene was pretty wild. Like when Tanjiro goes up to him to try to give him the fish when he's on the stone, he's sitting on the stone, and you know, Zensu's so short with Tanjiro. You know, very simple responses back and forth. And by the time that Tanjiro leaves, we finally get to see his face, and he's got blood in his hair, and he seems to have a ton of resolve all of a sudden. We kind of get that in correlation to him receiving that letter from the sparrow. Chunchiro, right? Love that sparrow. But obviously something in the letter, it must have been really important, because the tone shift within Zensu was huge. So it makes me wonder a lot about what was on that letter. Is there some news from from somewhere else in the Demon Slayer Corps? His grandpa's already dead, right? I don't remember if his grandpa's dead. Maybe he got some letter from his family or something. I guess we'll have to see, but I'm sure we'll get more. Maybe the next episode we'll get more on that, and I would love to see that because I'm super interested. Also wanted to comment on the Gyu and Saname fight. I think that was awesome animation. So cool seeing the water breathing style animation. I think it's so cool. It's always been so satisfying to see the water breathing style. And they seem very evenly matched. I mean, they both broke their swords at the end. So I don't know, I've always kind of thought that Gyu might be one of the weaker ones. And obviously with his backstory, you know, he struggled a lot early on, but he still is a Hashira and he's still very strong. And you see he's keeping up with Saname. And I think Saname's probably one of the more strong ones. So it's cool to see Gyu in the mix and fighting again and training again. And also I thought it was awesome that, you know, Tanjiro's like, that's so fast, but I can actually follow their movements. You know, they're slowly giving us little trickles of information that Tanjiro is kind of starting to, I don't know, I want to say catch up to the Hashira, but you know, his skill level is getting a lot closer to Hashira. We've been able to see that with how much stronger he is than the rest of the Demon Slayer trainees, but he's kind of always been that way to a degree. It's awesome actually seeing it directly in translation to the Hashira training themselves. So I don't know if Tanjiro is going to be at the level of Hashira by the end of this arc, but I'd imagine that he's going to be pretty close or closer at least, so that he can keep up with the upper demon ranks. Also, the whole thing about Saname's favorite food being, it was a red bean mochi, I think, or something like that. I thought that was funny because just Tanjiro and Gyu both were a little naive, thinking that they could, you know, kind of spark a friendship with Saname just because that's his favorite food. They're both like, yeah. Gyu saying, I'm gonna keep some in my pocket and give it to him every time. I think that will definitely help us bond. Lastly, oof, man, the scene with MUZAN walking in, holy shit, that was really, really well done. The art direction there, like the way they directed and everything was so well done. I mean, obviously a simple scene, just MUZAN walking up to see UBUYASHIKI for the first time, but the, you know, the music, the score, the sound design around other parts of, like when he's entering in, the sound design was really, really cool. Just the mist trailing behind him, the angles they use, like the reflection on the water and kind of tilting it upside down. Oh man, really, really well done. Love that scene. But obviously a big confrontation coming. I don't know if the Hashira are close by, but I'm a little worried for UBUYASHIKI now. I mean, MUZAN is probably going to be able to have his way with him if he doesn't like delay it or something. I mean, I think they'll probably have some kind of conversation, of course, since they've never met before and they're kind of the main enemies against each other. So, all right, let's get into character ratings. MVP this episode, ooh. We'll give it to the Stone Hashira. I think the Stone Hashira deserves it in this one. His backstory was insane. So sad, of course, but I just love how much he took on there, right? Like, one, him just being a badass and taking on that demon with his bare freaking hands, so cool. But even more so, how much he lost on that day, and yet how much he's achieved since, right? He's the strongest Hashira out of all of them, apparently. And I don't know, if that happened to me, like getting framed and then losing so many kids and then getting framed by one of them, I don't know, man, like that would be so hard to get past, not only to get past it, but to like get stronger from it too. I don't know, I think he deserves MVP for this episode. Best moment, you know, I would say that, like, at first I thought I was gonna say the best moment is when the Stone Hashira said he would help keep Tanjiro on the path, but I have to just give it to MUZAN walking up. I mean, that whole sequence was really, really cool. I just love the art direction with all of it, the soundtrack. I mean, and you guys heard me just talk about it, but very, very well done for what could have just been a simple scene. I thought they did a fantastic job with it. And then funniest moment, there were a few good funny moments. The whole Red Bean Mochi was really fun with Gyu. Tanjiro sitting down on Inosuke when him and Genyo were getting into it. But I'm gonna give it to when Tanjiro was getting waterboarded by the Stone Hashira, even though he was just trying to, you know, help him hydrate. Just like the sound effects of him like drowning in the water. I just thought that was pretty geeky. It was pretty funny. All right, y'all. I think that'll do for this reaction and review. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I really did. Definitely one of my favorite of the whole season so far. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments down below. Like what you thought about like Stone Hashira's backstory. Absolutely tragic. What do you think about MUZAN coming back into the picture and confronting UBUYASHIKI? And let me know what y'all like think what happened with Zensu in that letter. Like what did that letter have on it? I mean, absolutely insane. It has to be something really, really crazy. I hope y'all have a really great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And I appreciate y'all being here to watch with me. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.